Welcome. This is Recidiva. I'm sharing a recording of a casual Skyrim playthrough using a mod list I built. My profound thanks to all the mod creators who have made this game a crowdsourced treasure. I hope you enjoy. Okay, so for discerning the transmundane, I'm gonna have to remember to actually loot because the options won't come up otherwise. So orc, farmer, dark elf, wood elf, high elf. I'm gonna have to pay attention to the stuff I kill. Okay, I'm gonna go to Falder's Tooth. That's the follow-up for the blade. For the quest we just did.
Give them the dogs, boys!
Fan-fucking-tastic.
If you want my Dragonborn, you'll have to get through me!
You right off.
I submit! You're still a good when you're dead!
You look human. Yep.
That way you're still dead.
I'll have to look at your ears. Pretty sure if you got fur, I can't harvest your blood, but hey, let's see.
Count out your coins!
Guys, I'm pretty human here.
That's your best!
You've met your match. The way you look after a fight.
The explosion is
Oh,
probably
wild,
Kaidan
so fucking alive.
opting to use some of
God's
the
sake,
explosive
kiss you
arrows I gave him.
Right the fuck now. Walk into the city. Let's be careful. Someone could be watching us.
I don't know who they're gonna attack, but I don't like leaving animals in cages. Oh, this is terrible.
Scoop.
Argonian. I'm not sure they can actually get out, considering there are doors, but they can at least eat the dead bodies for a little while, right?
I'm not stealthy. I'm sorry. Do not.
Okay, so we have seen that Alexi's key can open up to Adept. I'm not sure I can open master locks with them, but I would like, I mean, I still need to raise my skill a couple more points. Alexi's key just becomes more valuable after that. Speaking of which, I haven't used Naris's codex, the other tools lately. Wow, okay. I'm not paying attention. Okay, there we go.
To me, to help you make a sacrifice. I don't agree with any of it. Having to find an innocent person to murder to a Daedric prince.
Yeah, Kaidan does not like sacrifice to Boethia, which is good. Okay, the dogs can't actually see me. I'm still stealthed, so maybe. Oh, that's a big bangy door. We don't want that. And that dog is dead.
You take my breath away when you do that.
I mean, nicely done. Focus, Kai.
I don't believe there is anything that will make Kaidan leave.
I'll do you
And
10
partly,
gold
I
every
believe that's
1 on the
because of
white.
his
Sounds like
Origin.
to me. You're on.
I think they gave him such a vile origin so that he can't actually, you know, say in some ways that he would never do anything like that, because he has, and he did. So it's part of a reason for him to not leave a Dragonborn, and he still expresses good person instincts, but he won't, I don't believe he will leave, and I don't think there are any long-term effects. Although, I don't know, I haven't played a bad person around him, because I would just choose to go solo, have a different follower. Read Cage Bandit's note. Boss found a buyer for that sword we looted, going through the crates downstairs. Says we're to deliver it to Broken Fang Cave come morning. Truth is the thing creeps me out. I'm glad to be rid of it. Okay, so
Sorry.
we investigated here, and now it's going to send us
I
somewhere
learned a
else.
trick of blowing a bowstring that lets the arrow go.
Okay, I can let you guys out, but you're probably just going to kill each other, right? Not much I can do about
But
that. Oh, do I
next
have
time
a
we
calm
come, I'll
spell?
hold you. Wait, what is
Oh, too late. I could have just shouted with Klein's Peace or something. Ooh. Harvest Blood. Dark Elf in a cage. One down.
Step. Like.
Oh, so disturbing. That's possibly the door we couldn't open from the other side. I don't really know. I don't have a sense of such things.
Oh, these sudden knees.
Sorry. I'll shut your mouth.
It's one of them underwater places. Okay. I don't know how to get out. Not upstairs? Oh, it's blocked. Okay. just sent me into a wall. Oh, so frustrating. Alright. I'm gonna try to find my way out. There we go. Okay, retrieve bloodthirst from Broken Fang Cave. Still something here that
I'm in no mood for this fucking shit today.
I'm just gonna discover the fishing spot.
Great bloody job.
Okay. Also, let's see if I remember. Okay, so the power for Malrus's Codex is. Oh my god. Okay. So do I have to open the toolbox? Use tools. I'm gonna use the Codex. I'm gonna study. Okay, restoration. So, yeah, this is kind of clunky. I don't know why they made it this way. Use tools. I can use the astrolabe. See if I discover anything. But I think it just says map updated. But I don't know what updated. Yeah, that's really not helpful, guys. My dog Petey is presenting himself for petting because he successfully went outside. Alright, Broken Fan Cave. Okay, so there was... This is from the quest that gave you Dust... Blood Fang. Is it also going to give you Dust Fang? I don't know, or if it just gives you a replica. I don't know. I'm not even sure I've done this because I probably didn't loot all of the notes and read all of the notes, or potentially make it that far. Who knows?
Take those bloodsuckers down. Give it up! Bear those teeth at me again, and I will put them out.
Are you an elven vampire?
All I am, and yet my heart fucking stops.
It's weird that the pirate hats still show up,
Time.
even though hats are blocked.
The fuck was that noise?
Fair warning. I'm absolutely shite, so apologies about that.
Okay, harvest blood. Okay, wood elf blood, good.
Someone there? Right.
Night Master Vampire, level 65. Okay, Bloodthirst. Absorbs 15 points of health, increases speed by 7%. Targets take additional bleed damage. Oh, that's kind of cool. I don't remember that. I likely never did it or forgot. Ancient vampire arm.
You are glowing.
I reckon this is when I do vampire origin. It can start in this cave. It'll start you in like a random vampire place, and so either there are lots of places with this format, or this is where you'll start. So I can do that, start as a vampire, and then I'll usually do that on a really high difficulty run, so my vampire gets very, very beat up by life at the beginning of the game, and has a relatively good roleplay reason to hate the world. Because you gotta hate the world, folks. You can't start as a vampire farmer, it's really not gonna work. Okay. Yeah, if I'm right, I'm near Markarth-ish. Yeah, Markarth is one of the only close main cities to run to. So yeah, I remember like starting here and then running across to here to get to a main city. I mean, Falkreath is relatively... oh, maybe not. Close to Whiterun. But that would be if I didn't use carriage stops and just had to get to a main city. There might be another one up closer to Markarth. Maybe like Chillwind Depths is another place I started. That would make sense. Okay. That's a nice little blade. I'll have to remember that. Okay, alright. We'll go pick up the pets. Send them all to Golden Hills. They'll all show up in my room, and then I can ask them to go outside. But I haven't been back to Golden Hills for a while. Can be overrun a little bit. Not an issue. So I have collected some pets of Skyrim. We're going to go grab the rest of them now. I probably have a sweet roll for sweet roll.
Hmm?
Can I buy your goat?
Of course.
These guys aren't necessarily a huge priority in my run-throughs. Here's my offer.
For that price? Sure.
It's time to do what we do
And that
best,
sounds
Dragonborn.
like dragon music, yep. Okay, yeah, Dragonren no longer has a hotkey because I need that for other stuff. It's a good idea for me to keep my hotkeys consistent over playthroughs because, yeah, otherwise I just hit the wrong button all the time. My fingers know that bows are number 1, summoning is number 3, healing is number 2. Oh my god. Oh, I hate that it just wore off and he took off again. It's just the worst.
It may be dead now, but where did it come from? Nice little town. Look out. Don't get too close.
Okay, I think I have a Halvar's Journal. Didn't get to read. So all of the pets have... well, maybe I didn't pick it up. All of the pets have special abilities. So I know... oh, okay, I didn't pick it up. Read Halvar's Journal. And the journals, the information will usually tell you. Came into town a few days ago looking for work. Folks here are nice enough, and there's plenty of wheat and potatoes needing to be harvested, so I've got a steady supply of coin coming in. I don't think I'm going to need my old pack goat Hilda for much longer. All my bones are starting to creak, and my adventuring days are long over. Now I just need to find someone willing to take care of her. Maybe get a few coins for her, too. There's strength in those old bones of hers yet. Ah, I'm gonna miss wandering the wilds of Skyrim. I saw so many strange and wonderful things out there. Pine trees as tall as mountains, old Nord tombs. I even once stumbled across a wandering spirit made of pure ice. Even ran across a few folks trying their hand at taming different types of creatures. Don't know what they'd want. Don't know why they'd want anything but a loyal dog or trusty goat like my Hilda, though. Some of them beasts out in the wild just aren't meant to be tamed. Ran across an alchemist with a pet rabbit. That's Thistle. And almost got robbed by a thief with a tame fox. That's Sweet Roll. But I suppose a rabbit or a fox could be docile enough. But that pickpocket trying to trade a skeever must have been as mad as old Sheo. And I don't want... what's the name of the skeever? I don't remember. We already got them. And I don't want to think too hard about that vampire that almost made a meal out of me. It's a spider. Could have sworn it was a trained frostbite spider. Yep. Gives me the shivers just thinking about it. I think you can get venom from the spider. I don't remember what Sweet Roll does. I think the skeever will just bring you items, and Hilda will carry things for you. Hey there, buddy. Want to come with me? Wait for me at home. Golden Hills Plantation. Yeah, despite all my questing, there still isn't a way to make a safe house a home. Although I'd probably be crazed with all the animals there, because all of these, if I'm right, let me watch, have collision. See, so although I have mods that reduce or remove, like I can walk straight through Kaidan, which gives you some interesting screenshots, but it's just murderous to still have collision. Okay. Visit Edward's grave in Falkreath. I've heard stories of bandits being an issue throughout Skyrim. At the dungeon in Whiterun, I read about one such bandit who died in Falkreath. I should visit the cemetery to confirm he's dead. So, yeah, this has got to be Creation Club 2. Just picked up a random note here and there. So, they used to, with Skyrim, force a start to all the Creation Club content at the beginning of every game. So you started your quest log would start with like 40 things in it, and there was an outcry, and they stopped doing that. But that means it makes it hard to locate the quests easily. So you have to explore and pick up the notes in the world now. I kind of prefer it the other way, but oh well. Khajiit's note. So yeah, as I said in my other run through, I had to go get a list and then go through it one by one to get the quests. Khajiit's note. Okay. There are a bunch of unread notes here, so I'm going to read those too. Khajiit finally got a lead on Edward. It seems he and his bandit friends fled north to Skyrim, where when he spoke to the guard captain, he tells Khajiit the bounty on Edward has already been claimed. A ripe old adventurer showed up to the barracks on a horse, dragging the Breton's corpse up behind him. He tells Khajiit the body is buried at the far end of the cemetery in Falkreath. Khajiit would like a shovel. We'll take a shovel and dig him up. After all, there are ways to die and not be dead. Khajiit has heard of potions that mimic death, slowing the heart to barely beat. If so, then Edward might still be out there. To that end, this one has heard rumors of a bandit wearing Daedric plate, plying his blood trade at Knife Point Ridge. Originally, Khajiit did not think Edward the type to live in an abandoned mine, but now he is not so sure. Edward might have been fooled the guard, but Khajiit won't believe he is truly dead until he sees it with his own eyes. Brinehammer Captain's Note. To any who happen upon the wreckage of my ship, hear my story and heed my warning. We've been searching the Sea of Ghosts for years and never even found a hint at the location of the fabled Blackbone Isle. I was on the verge of giving up on my dream when I met a captain in the routine stop in Dawnstar. He sold me what he claimed to be the Sword of Cyrus, and with it a map to the location of Blackbone Isle, costing me the majority of my wealth and that of my crew. The map and the sword unfortunately turned out to be a fake. I should have known better than to trust someone of his kind, but my dream had left me blind to the deception. I left the book that started this journey in the winking skeever in solitude, so I would no longer be tempted to scour its pages for clues. We started with nothing, and we ended with nothing, and so I told my crew to go ashore. I planned to run the ship into the rocks, for there is nothing left for me in this world, and I wished not to turn to piracy for my survival. Do not spare me a thought, reader, for I now sleep amongst the waves where I belong. If you read this book, do not dream of finding the treasure, for it is a fool's errand, and will surely lead you to lose everything you own. Sure. Forsworn note. Matriarch, we await your orders. Our blades are honed, our quivers full, our wills steeled for battle. The time of our waiting is ended. The time for battle is at hand. You have but to speak the word, and the occupiers shall fall like wheat before the reaper. So the matriarch has to be a hag raven. I think that's what they, Okay, notes on the Divine Crusader's relic should give me the point to go get Palamal's ring. After examining the book Lost Relics of the Ages Volume 3, I've determined that the relics are all contained within magically bound chests, each requiring the blessing of the divines who wrought the relic within to be upon... Okay. Each requiring the blessing of the divine who wrought the relic within to be upon the would-be opener of the chest. The only other way to open them would be with the ring of Sir Amiel. The book gives vague references to their location, but I believe that I have a solid list of where to look and what blessing is needed. So this gives a list of the blessings, but you should just go get the ring. And remember to wear the ring. Okay, let's see if Blackwater Blade has a marker yet. Yes, it does. Okay. So, reading the note gave me a marker on the map. Blackwater Blade, absorb 30 points of stamina, and Celeste's note. Celeste's note. I heard there's a grand old ship over at Blackbone Isle. Might even have more loot than the Golden Galleon, the one the old Imperial used to tell stories about when I first joined up. From what I hear, the isle ain't too far from here. We could probably steal a boat from the wrecks up north. So the crew asks me, how are we going to find Blackbone Isle if we don't know where it is? And I tell them, shut up. I'm not sharing the location with anyone.
Oh, well, shit happened.
Okay, so we're gonna go find the other ancient vampire. I'm really not sure if this is Dawnguard or creation content. Let me look it up. It's Dawnguard. Okay. I've already cleared Movarth's lair, but didn't get the body part. And we cleared Movarth's lair during the Morthal quests. I jumped into the pit, didn't I? Oh, and the spiders have respawned. Doesn't stay cleared. Speaking of which, let's see if the spiders we fought before. I don't like becoming a vampire. Yep, the vampires are back. And my kitties are playing the murder game.
You want
Pretty
to do
strong
this
for after all.
badly? Fine. You can go to hell. You're a phantom, to be fair.
What was that?
Nothing. Yeah, we definitely just never even made it back here. Still loot, still living vampires.
Do that again, and you best
Yeah, you look like an orc. Bet that's orc blood, yep. Okay.
Give it up. It's off.
Oh, I like the vampire alchemy tables, that's cool.
You have a death wish.
Yeah, these thralls are no joke.
to be spent here will be your own.
You an altman? Yeah, you are. Okay. Okay, let's see. Alright, the last thing I need is Falmer. Cool, I've got all of the random human stuff now. Okay. Cool. Ancient vampire hands. All your friends are dead, buddy. Yeah. Later on in the game, which is, I probably need to, yeah, let me write that down. I keep jumping into this pit. I need something like vigilant. I'm not. I think that's the one that rebalances combat. I think I need to put that into my lineup because later in the game it's just really kind of a joke, and I keep hearing the Princess Bride in my head where Fezzik tells Andre the Giant's character, wow, I can't even think of his name right now, how he's going to kill the masked man, and sort of like sneak up and kill him before he knows it. Oh, look at how beautiful. Wow. And instead, Fezzik defies him because he says, my way doesn't sound very, do it your way. Sneak up and kill him. My way doesn't sound very sportsmanlike. So killing vampires in that way just
Provided we clear out
doesn't
each other.
seem very sportsmanlike. So yeah, loading that will give me something to test and make the beginning of the game harder, which you can always adjust with difficulty. But let me write that down. I need vigilant. I'm too used to playing the game at the beginning,
Another quiet day, I hope.
so I'm gonna have to do. Yeah, I'm gonna have to. Since my game now is modding the game, this isn't like me going, oh no. But I don't, Vigilant is something I don't believe I've tested, and the only daunting aspect of it is how much patching am I gonna have to do, and how many bugs am I gonna come up across, and how many games am I gonna start while I figure this stuff out. But that's like my game now. That's like what I do.
Couldn't have chosen a better day for trouble.
Play for half the time, mod for half the time, and keep wanting to try new things. Appears as though there's going to be some armed resistance. I'm not out. These are orc bandits. Oh. Nope. You're a vampire swamp. Ooh, I like your tattoo. I'm just gonna keep running backwards so I can see it better, but yeah.
You won't live to see tomorrow.
We'll see. Moldering ruins with the entrance inside a tent. Oh. Ah. I don't recall this at all.
That was excellent.
Who did you guys kill?
Worked up a
Looked
sweat.
like you were fighting each other. No? And Bar. Who did you? Alright. I'm gonna ignore it. It's between you guys. Yeah, I don't remember this place, so I haven't been here. Clearly introduced during Dawnguard, I guess. Oh, it's just sitting here. Ancient vampire hands. Destroy the ancient vampire remains at Stendar's. Hi.
What was that?
Me.
Victory! Here we go! Hey! You don't feel messy.
Yeah, she has to punch now because I stole her sword.
It's yours.
So if I really want to play a hard game in a new way where I can get different outcomes and why? Just lead me down the hallway with nothing in it, folks. Oh, I see. They're just, yeah, they're digging down into, okay, I get it. They were digging down into something. And that's an alcove. Alright, I get it. I get it now. So if you play a vampire at the beginning of the game, starting with nothing, like just spawning in a cave where everybody tells you you're a scrub and you suck and everybody's doing the vampire mutter, and then you get out in the world with nothing and you're starving and thirsty So I would use a vampire sun helm where you're only tracking thirst. But yeah, you begin the game that way. Oh, yeah, it's rough. Now, I've never finished a game that way. I tend to get bored and wander off. There's nobody to really care for. I don't bring Kaidan because, yeah, he would hate my guts every second. I don't really have as much fun when people hate my guts every second. Alright. I'm going to turn this in. Stendar's beacon is over here. Okay. Yeah, so I'm still mulling my evil playthrough. I think probably the best bet, the thing that would work for me, I don't really know of any evil, well-voiced female followers.
Bring it on! You little shit!
I cannot best you.
It would probably be best for me to just use a vanilla follower like Janasa or Iola. It's probably because, you know, Serana's too nice. She wants to do good in the world. I need someone like dedicatedly evil. Or you're just doing a good run through where you're disappointing someone. So yeah, probably Iola on the Nether Followers framework that gives her a couple of perks. Might be good. I think she's even marryable. But, you know, my bad guys have trouble like, oh, we're going to take a vow. None of my evil guys are going to keep a vow, much less take one. So, I still have to think my way through that one. Hi. I shouldn't kill you, right? Yeah.
Walk always in the light, or we will drag you to it.
Sure.
The suffering that Daedra caused will not go unpunished. The mercy of Stendarr does not extend to Daedra worshippers.
How do you do things?
It's not true what they say about you and the Dark Brotherhood, is it?
Dispose of remains in Stendar's beacon. Completed. Ancient power. I recovered all the ancient vampire remains and prevented the vampires from using them to enhance their powers by destroying them at Stendar's beacon. Okay, so I assume if you're a vampire lord, you fight your way up and do that and you get the powers.
Stendar's mercy be upon you, for the
Okay. Something to keep in mind. Retrieve the enhanced crossbow schematic from Fort Fellhammer. So yeah, if I go evil, I go full evil, which like Dragon Age Origins always like weirded me out in terms that like Morrigan expects you to be faithful to her while you're evil. I mean, like, isn't that like the chance where you go full, you know, full on, I don't have to follow any rules? So I was kind of shocked. I'm not carrying any sword fungal pods, am I? Told the game not to pick any up. Nope. Kaidan's allergic to swamp fungopods, as I've said before. And when he sneezes or sniffs, I want to check that I'm not the cause.
Oi! You met your fuck! Fucking creep. You want some more?
Uh-oh. Ash is singing the cry of his people when he loses the murder game.
Fucking come on, then!
So you'd think with evil people they would understand you don't ask them to keep faith or make a vow. But still, games don't necessarily get that right. Not that evil people can't be devoted. They can be. Just don't ask them to be devoted. The freedom of being evil is that you don't have to care about someone else's feelings. But I also think it's very short-sighted because they're going to care that you don't care about their feelings.
Hope you're getting
Hey,
along with
Serene.
Eastron. It takes some getting used to. I like what Eastron has done with the place. It's good to see someone else who's really prepared.
I'm back from Fort Fellhammer with the enhanced crossbow schematic.
You're back and alive to boot. Fantastic. I see. Clever dwarves. With a similar technique and a little tinkering, I should be able to improve the capabilities of our crossbows. I often wonder where we'd be if the Dwemer were still around.
Dead.
Oh,
Or slaves.
we'll have to manage with the scraps we find. Here, let me show you how it's made. Assuming you have the smithing skills, you should be able to make this yourself at Gunmar's Forge. Either way, I'll have some for sale soon.
What can I do to help?
I've got more leads on additional Dwemer plans. Those last ones helped me immensely. If you could collect this one for me, it's sure to result in extraordinary success.
Okay.
Don't get yourself killed.
That human flesh you're wearing is
There is a fairly decent player-made healer follower called Takata. And that's one thing very helpful to a vampire, is to have a follower that can heal you. Oh, okay, I was already... Alright, never mind. So that's another option I might use instead of using Janessa, who does have good stealth and is very stabby. And that might be helpful. To use Takata as a follower. Now, she's relatively good, but she's also very quiet and inexpressive. The only problem I have with her is she teleports, and she will land directly on your head, which is a problem I've seen with a lot of player-made mods. So she might not be a good fit either.
Oh, back's hurting a bit. Maybe you'll give me a massage later on.
Of course I will, honey. Okay, out with the Akatosh, in with the Oriel. Well, actually, there's an Oriel shrine right here for displaying the bow, so we'll just put it right in front of that. There we go. Yeah, this is a home that where you could have displayed it. I'm going to change my interactive, immersive interaction so it doesn't return to first person when I'm done, because I'm trying to learn how to do certain things in first person and certain things in third. Okay. Combat, I think, is always going to be first person. I don't think even animations can fix my irritation with third-person combat and targeting. But a lot of things with a bunch of animation lists look amazing in third person. Life of Uriel Septim the Seventh by Rufus Hayne. 3E, 368, 389, strategist and conciliator. The early decades of Emperor Uriel's life were marked by aggressive expansion and consolidation of imperial influence throughout the empire. So I'm assuming this is the Oblivion Uriel Septim. There were a lot of Uriels, but he's the most renowned, if I'm aware. So this is the Patrick Stewart voiced character at the beginning of Oblivion. Especially in the East, in Morrowind and Blackmarsh, where the Empire's power was limited, imperial culture was weak, and native customs and traditions were strong and staunchly opposed to assimilation. During this period, Uriel greatly benefited from the arcane support and shrewd counsel of his close advisor, the Imperial battle mage Jaegar Tharn. Oh, no, different Uriel. So this is the one who was imprisoned, and I don't know, are they the same? I've read all these books and even I can't, there are too many Uriels. I wish they'd given them different names. The story of Uriel's marriage to the Princess Kolavoria is a less happy tale. Though she was a beautiful and charming woman and greatly loved and admired by the people, the Empress was a deeply unpleasant, arrogant, ambitious, grasping woman. She snared Uriel Septim with her feminine wiles. Oh, for fuck's sake. But Uriel Septim thereafter soon regretted his mistake and was repelled by her. They heartily detested one another and went out of their ways to hurt one another. Their children were the victims of this unhappy marriage. With his agile mind and vaunting ambition, Uriel soon outstripped his master in the balanced skills of threat and diplomacy. Uriel's success in co-opting House Hlalu as an advanced guard of imperial culture and economic development in Morrowind is a noteworthy example. However, Uriel also grew... Boy, I guess that's why Hlalu fell out of favor. However, Uriel also grew in pride and self-assurance. Jagar Tharn fed Uriel's pride, and hiding behind the mask of an outpaced former master counselor, Tharn purchased the complete trust. Yep. That led finally to Uriel's betrayal and imprisonment in oblivion and Tharn's secret usurpation of the imperial throne. Okay, so different Uriel, and this is also the one that has Jagar Tharn and then marries Baron Zaya, and Baron Zaya figures out, and then there's a whole bunch of books on that. 3E 389, 399, betrayed and imprisoned. Okay, yeah, and also the time frame, 399. So this was, since we're in 400 now, this is what, 800 years ago? So not the 200 years ago of Oblivion. I'm trying to straighten out in my head, but I think that's true. Correct me if I'm wrong. Little is known of Uriel's experience while trapped in Oblivion. He says he remembers nothing but an endless sequence of waking and sleeping nightmares. He says he believed himself to be dreaming and had no notion of passage of time. Publicly, he long claimed to have no memory of his dreams and nightmares of his imprisonment, but from time to time, during the interviews with the Emperor that formed the basis of this biography, he would relate details of the nightmares he had, and would describe them as similar to the nightmares he had when he was imprisoned in Oblivion. He seemed not so much unwilling as incapable of describing the experience. But it is clear that the experience changed him. In 3E 389, he was a young man full of pride, energy, and ambition. During the Restoration, after his rescue and return to the throne, he was an old man, brave, patient, and cautious. He also became conservative and pessimistic, where the policies of his early life were markedly bold, even rash. Uriel accounts for this change as a reaction to and revulsion for the early teachings and counsel of Jagar Tharn. However, Uriel's exile in Oblivion also clearly drained and wasted him in body and spirit, though his mind retained the shrewd cunning and flexibility of his youth. The story of Tharn's magical impersonation of the Emperor, the unmasking of Tharn's imposture by Queen Baron Saya, and the roles played by King Edwir, Rear Sealmane, and her champion in assembling the Staff of Chaos, defeating the renegade Imperial battle mage Jagar Tharn, and restoring Uriel to the throne, is treated at length in Stern Cambogia's excellent 3-volume biography of Baron Saya. There is no reason to recount that narrative here. Summarized briefly, but I'm gonna. Summarized briefly, Jagar Tharn's neglect and mismanagement of imperial affairs resulted in a steady decline in the empire's economic prosperity, allowing many petty lords and kings to challenge the authority of the empire, and permitting strong local rulers in the east and west to indulge in open warfare over lands and sovereign rights. 3E 399, 4. Okay, so this is the third age. We're in the fourth age. Restoration, the miracle of peace, and Vardenfell. During the Restoration, Uriel Septim turned from the aggressive campaign of military intimidation and diplomatic accommodation of his earlier years, and relied instead on clandestine manipulation of affairs behind the scenes, primarily through the agencies of the various branches of the Blades. A complete assessment of the methods and objectives of this period must wait until after the Emperor's death, when the voluminous diaries archived at his country estate may be opened to the public, and when the Blades no longer need to maintain secrecy to protect the identities of its agents. That's right, so yeah, back before the Blades fell, so yes, okay. Although this might be the same guy, I'm not sure. Two signal achievements of this period point to the efficacy of Uriel's subtle policies. The miracle of peace, also popularly known as the Warp in the West, that transformed the Iliac Bay region from an unruly assortment of warring petty kingdoms into the well-ordered and peaceful modern counties of Hammerfell, Sentinel, Wayrest, and Orsinium, and the colonization of Vardenfell, presided over by the skillful machinations of King Helseth of Morrowind and Lady Baron Saya, the Queen Mother. who brought Morrowind more closely into the sphere of Imperial influence. 3E 415 to 430. The Golden Peace, King Helseth's court, and the Nine of the East followed the miracle of the peace, best described in Per Vertset's Daggerfall, A Modern History. The Empire entered a period of peace and prosperity comparable to the earlier years of Uriel's reign. With the Imperial heartland and west solidly integrated into the Empire, Uriel was able to turn his full attention to the east, to Morrowind. Exploiting conflicts at the heart of Morrowind's monolithic tribunal regions and long-established great house system of government, and taking advantage of the terrible threat that the corrupted divine beings at the heart of the tribunal religion presented to the growing colonies. The corrupted divine beings. Okay, so they're referring to the I'm not sure which corruption. The Vivek Amalexia Sothisil Tribunal, or Boethia Mafala and Azura. Presented to the growing colonies of Vardenfell, Uriel worked through shadowy agents of the Blades and through the court of King Helseth in Mournhold to shift the center of political power in Morrowind from the Great House councils to Helseth's court, and took advantage of the collapse of the Orthodox tribunal cults to establish the Nine Divines as the dominant faiths in Hlaalu and Vardenfell districts. Asvat Anabolis' treatment of this establishment of the Nine in the East in the 4-volume Life and Times of the Nerevarine is comprehensive. However, he fails to resolve the central mystery of this period. How much did Uriel know about the prophecies of the Nerevarine, and how did he learn of their significance? The definitive resolution of this and other mysteries must await the future release of the Emperor's private papers, or a relenting of the Blade's strict policies of secrecy concerning their agents. Okay, I'm just confused about time frame. We're gonna leave it at that. Liminal bridges. A discourse on the theory and praxis of traveling between Mundus and Oblivion, by Camilonwi of Alanon. Transliminal passage of quickened objects or entities without the persistent agency of hyperagonal media is not possible. I don't know what that means. And even if possible, would result in instantaneous retroemission of the transported reference. Only a transpontine circumpenetration of the lumen will result in transits of greater than infinitesimal duration. Though other hyperagonal media may exist in theory, the only known transliminal artifact capable of sustained transpontine circumpenetration is the sigil stone. A sigil stone is a specimen of pre-mythic quasi-crystalline morpholith that has been transformed into an extra-dimensional artifact through the arcane inscription of a Daedric sigil. Though some common morpholiths, like soul gems, may be found in nature, the exotic morpholiths used to make sigil stones occur only in pocket voids of oblivion and cannot be prospected or harvested without Daedric assistance. Okay, so the sigil stones are what were at the heart of Oblivion Gates. So they're talking about being able to move between the planes with a physical object and saying that this is what sigil stones were. Okay, so I'm actually getting it. Therefore, or I'm so far off and in another game and my brain is doing its thing and just thinking it gets it. We'll see. Therefore, since both the morpholiths and the Daedric sigils required for hyperagonal media cannot be obtained without traffic and commerce with Daedra lords, it is necessary that a transliminal mechanic cultivate a working knowledge of conjuration. Though purpose-built enchantments may be substituted if the mechanic has sufficient invocatory skill. Traffic and commerce with Daedra lords is an esoteric but well-established practice, and lies outside the compass of this treatise. Presuming a sigil stone has been acquired, the transliminal mechanic must first prepare the morpholith to receive the Daedric sigil. Let the mechanic prepare a chamber, sealed against all daylight and disturbances of the outside air, roofed and walled with white stone and floored with black tiles. All surfaces of this chamber must be ritually purified with a solvent of void salts in ether solvent. A 4-square table shall be placed in the center of the room, with a dish to receive the morpholith. 4 censers shall be prepared with incense compounded from Gorvix and Harada. On the equinox, the mechanic shall then place the morpholith in the dish and intone the rites of the Book of Law. beginning at dawn and continuing without cease until the sunset of the same day. The mechanic may then present the purified morpholith of the Daedra Lord for his inscription. Once inscribed with the Daedra Lord sigil, the morpholith becomes a true sigil stone, a powerful artifact that collects and stores arcane power, similar in many respects to a charged soul gem, but at a much greater magnitude. And if this sigil stone that is required to provide the tremendous arcane power necessary to sustain the enchantment that supports the transpontine circumpenetration of the limen. So I am going to assume here that the limen is the barrier between Oblivion and Mundus. To open a gate to Oblivion, the mechanic must communicate directly by spell or enchantment with the Daedra Lord who inscribed the sigil stone in question. The Daedra Lord and the mechanic jointly invoke the Conjuration Charter, and the mechanic activates the charged sigil stone, which is immediately transported through the liminal barrier to the spot where its sigil was inscribed, thus opening a temporary portal between Mundus and Oblivion. Okay, I was right! Yay! This portal may only remain open for a brief period of time, depending on the strength of the liminal barrier at the chosen spots, several minutes being the longest ever reported, so the usefulness of such a gate is quite limited. Interested students are invited to consult the works of Albrecht, Theophanes, Bombidus, and Galerian the Mystic for the fundaments of this discipline. Recommended examples of the Conjurational Charter may be found in Therian's Book of Most Arcane Covenants, or Ralibala's 11 Ritual Forms. Yeah, for my evil run-throughs too, I keep telling myself I should really learn the content of vampire lords or werewolves, but I hate it. I hate it. And every time I try, I hate it more. Thanks for watching. Wishing you found family, creative hobbies, a hot bath after a long day, and food you love as much as Saleya loves apple pies.